after you've had a day of fishing, you know, first thing you got to do is clean the fish, take care of that. It's trying to rain. Do things that prep the boat for the next trip. The only thing I don't worry about is the leaves that blow in the boat. I'll deal with that when I get to the dock the morning of fishing. Other than that, you know, I wash the boat, and I try and wash it with a little Dawn, maybe a little Clorox if necessary. This time of year here where I live, it's hard to keep the green out the boat. I can wash it, and by the trip, the next trip, it's got a little green in the boat from just the northern part of it. I get a lot of water off of the waterway and the creek I live near. And what are you doing? Talking to the dog there. Anyway, you know, take care of your gear, wash it off, clean it. You got a lot of salt on it, use a little Saltex. That tends to help cut through the salt and get it off. So you can do things like that. But one important thing, if you don't fish a lot, take the time to sit down and make some notes on the fishing trip you were in. Talk about, you know, make your notes about where you caught fish, how you caught fish, what tide you caught them on, what moon you caught them on. And that will help you remember next time you go, oh, maybe I've got this tide, this moon, this might be a good chance to go back to this spot. You know, things kind of line up. I use a thing called Tide Spy. It gives you the moon phase, it gives you the tide phase, it gives you the minor and major feed, which sometimes makes a major difference in what you're doing. If you go to the same spot at the opposite tide that you caught fish in, there's probably a good chance you're not going to catch fish there again. You might, but you might not either. Most likely you won't, because it's totally different from what it is. High tide versus a low tide, or medium tide rising versus a medium tide falling. All those little things make a difference, and you got to keep all that in your head. I'm probably the world's worst at not writing stuff down like I should, and sometimes it catches me off guard. But those are the big things, you know. Keep a journal. If you catch or if you don't catch. Also, another thing you need to include in the journal is what the wind is. The wind will make a big difference. I personally hate a west wind. Whoever wrote the little thing when the fish bite the best when the wind's in the west, well, they don't hear. Not for me. I prefer a north wind or a southeast or a northeast wind. Those are my favorite winds for here. But, you know, there again, I'm fishing inshore, and I'm fishing a lot of flats and things like that. I fish windward banks and I fish leeward banks. A windward bank is where the wind is blowing onto the bank, especially if there's like a big sandbar near it on a point. I want that windward bank. The fish tend to stack up there, the bait comes through there, they get confused, they're getting beat up by the waves and the wind. If it blows really hard, that tends to be a great drum spot. So you'll be out there and you're rocking and rolling, but you know, you might be catching a lot of fish by doing that too. You just got to be able to put up with the uncomfortableness of it to be able to get in there and fish. But there again, you know, you can go into that same point and it can be slick calm, and you can bump the school a tiny little bit, and you know where they are and you know what they're doing. You can watch what direction they go in, and you can sit there and be really quiet, and you can catch a lot of fish, especially if you can throw a long distance. And the further you can throw a rod, the better off you are, or throw a lure I should say, the better off you are. Practice your casting while after your trip's over. You know, get to where you can hit a 5-gallon bucket from 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet. And I'm not saying you got to drop it in the bucket. I'm saying you got to hit the bucket. You want to be able to lead a fish and put it where you want to. Back when I did a lot of fly fishing, I was constantly putting a pine cone at 3 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and in one cast picking up a rod, a fly line full of rod, and throwing it to 3 o'clock, picking it up, throwing it to 1 o'clock, picking it up and throwing it to 11 o'clock. And I learned how to do that in one cast, get a lot of line out the water and be able to put it out there in one cast. You can do the same thing with a casting rod. You just got to learn how to put it in the hole. You know, get you a rubber sinker and learn how to cast it, you know. Find one that's about the weight you're going to be throwing most of the time and sit there and practice, practice, practice. It will make a huge difference in your success rate. The better you can cast and the more accurate you can cast when you get on the water the next time, the better off you are. Hope these few tips help you guys. Good luck, catch them up, and I'll see you on the flip side. Thanks.